coal country, and that's kind of the setting of this, the mountains and the rivers and the poverty and the lack of jobs and all of that. And so with that as a reference, Charlie finished the day out like he did every other day, he was sitting, but also quietly standing in line to punch out his time card. Listening to the endless complaining and bitching about everything, he flexed his fist. This talk always ignited his rage. He needed to clear out of here as soon as possible. He walked to the beginning of the line, cutting in and grabbing his time card. Hey, buddy, get in line like the rest of us. Who the fuck you think you are? Emergency, is all he said, punching his card and putting it back, a quick pivot, and he was out the door. His job was a numbing drug that in the beginning provided money. Money he used to get her. She wanted so much. Piles of stuff later. Jewelry, clothes, perfume, candy, flowers, shoes, movies, dinners, piles of monies later. He had her in every way, in the only way he imagined. The images that floated through his head, propelling him forwards into each empty, draining day now covered in wet thoughts of her. He felt alive and he felt life. And she laid down and he had her. For 2 years he had her. He lived those images wet with desires and blood running hot until she left suddenly without a word as to why. And she took what she'd wanted all along, his very being, his soul. And he tortured the metal rectangles for years after, his rage so immediate each morning he awoke still surprised that she was gone. Even today, even this morning. Eunice had to start his day reminding him he could leave all this behind, him knowing he could never abandon his beloved dog and become like her. Never. So he was in a foul mood, sentenced and delivered to his private prison, left to rot in it. He walked the 4 miles home, today in the rain, walked them like he did every day, lost in thoughts, only he could reveal. The dark pain on his face, our only indication he was indeed suffering. The bottle that Roger was holding when he arrived was joined with another exactly like it, both sitting empty on the coffee table in the living room. Cigarette smoke curled in the air, the ashtray was overflowing with butts. A radio was playing in another room at an annoying volume, not low enough to hear, but not loud enough to sing along with. Eunice was drunk. She had a bloody nose and what may turn into quite the shiner, her left eye was barely open, the obvious signs of a drunken brawl. Roger was passed out, sitting upright at the far end of the couch. His head was staring straight up to the ceiling. Heaven maybe, he was out cold with deep gashes striping his face as he snored loud and almost demanding. Eunice stared at Roger, shaking her head, tears dropping from her eyes to the couch. And Wiley, Charlie's dog, stood next to her, almost at attention, trying perhaps to offer comfort, but surely with a look of concern. While she petted him and wailed to the aloneness, her life of sadness and despair, Eunice's sister had earlier dropped off Wiley, and she was having an overnight date with some fool she'd met in some bar not so long ago. Eunice was dripping in rainwater on the floor. The dog smelled like a wet dog, that smell. When the rains came, when I was a kid, they were just like tonight. They don't disappoint, do they? She never took the dog when she had an overnight. She wanted to appear whole and desirable, capable, malleable, all those things she was not. So Wiley the dog joined the party right before the fireworks went off, and when all the screaming and yelling and violence began, he barked and he howled, and he barked some more, but even he could not stop it until it was over. And then it was over, until Charlie opened the front door. And then the party really began. Now, ordinarily I wouldn't do this, but if I don't take a drink of water, it's going to be like, I have to take a drink of water, because what comes next has to just, I can't stop with it. Is that okay?
Yes.
This is Kirkland water. It's such good water. It's like a commercial in the middle of it. Yeah. Thank you. And it was over until Charlie opened the front door. And then the party really began. What the fuck is going on here, Eunice? What the fuck? Oh, Charlie. Don't ever drink, Charlie. Don't drink. If you're still here past today, don't ever drink, Charlie. What the hell are you talking about, Eunice? You're drunk. You're out of your mind. Look at the mess in here, and where's Mom? Why is Wiley here and she's not? What the fuck is going on? Well, Charlie, what's going on isn't that? You've watched me die for years, a little at a time. I mean, not bang, bang, shoot me, I'm dead, but I mean every minute of every day, you start to realize that what you call your life is a fucking joke, Charlie. Excuse my French, but anyway, Charlie, it's not funny, is it, Charlie? What are you talking about, Eunice? What are you trying to say? I'm trying to say, Charlie, you've got to get out of here. You've got to go. You know it. I know it. Even fucking asshole Roger knows it. And I've tried every which way to convince you to go, to leave. Even before that bitch screwed you over, didn't I? Didn't I try to convince you to go? Didn't I? Stop calling her a bitch, Eunice. She was young. I was stupid. How does that make her a bitch? Oh, you don't know. Nobody told you, Charlie. She was sleeping with all the guys you work with. It was common gossip for over a year. Oh, for God's sake, Charlie. Smell the fucking coffee. What the fuck are you talking about, Eunice? Have you lost your fucking mind? How is any of what you said even possible? How? She loved me, Eunice. She told me over and over, and I believed her. And then she had to leave. Why? Why? How do I know? She left. Poof, like a ghost. Not a mad word, not a fuck you, not an endless accusation, none of that. She just was, and then she was not. Got it, Eunice? Oh, Charlie, there's that anger I told you about a long time. There it is. It makes you feel alive, doesn't it? Makes you feel alive that while that hot blood is racing through your body right now and killing your spirit a little more each time, more than the last time you got mad. Isn't it, Charlie? You feel that right now, don't you? God damn it, Eunice, you're really pissing me off right now, and I'm in no mood for this. Please go to bed and sleep it off. Eunice walked to the credenza in the dining room and opened a drawer and removed a large envelope and an item wrapped with a white cloth, putting the item in the front pocket of her sweatpants. She walked towards Charlie, extending the bulging envelope in his direction. Take it. This is all the money I saved, almost $26,000. Take it, Charlie. Get out of this toxic petri dish of a town and save yourself becoming what you fear the most. Take the money, Charlie. Charlie turned away and noticed that Wiley was standing behind Eunice, and their eyes locked, and after a few minutes, Wiley started to walk past Eunice. She grabbed his collar. This fucking dog is your big excuse to torture yourself in this town for the rest of his life. This dog. God damn it, Charlie, what do you have to say about that? How can you let a dog, a D-O-G, decide the rest of your life, Charlie? I've been in the world, and I've traveled, and I've seen places you would die if you saw them. I've been in the world, Charlie, and as your Aunt Eunice, you must leave here. Let go of Wiley, Eunice. What the hell is wrong with you? For Christ's sake, let me live my life my way. You live your life any way you want, Charlie. Me, I'm better off dead. Same as you'll feel when you're my age, maybe way before, and you're going to remember this envelope full of money, and you'll remember everything I said about everything I talked about and all of it, and you will die in that moment, Charlie, just like I did. Your mother did, fucking Roger did. Everybody in this goddamn town did, Charlie. And you'll be just like that, just like us, just like me. And before Charlie could say another word, she pulled out the item wrapped in the white cloth and pushed it against Wiley's head and pulled the trigger. And when Charlie snapped, and then Charlie snapped in half. And without even knowing he thought it, his hands went around Eunice's neck, crushing her windpipe and strangling every breath she would never take again, and the sound of Wiley's anguish howl ringing in his ears, and he thought of her laying down for him over and over until the rage pushed forward. In that holy moment for both of them, he remembered Donovan, his only friend. If saying hello and 6 or 7 lengthy conversations over years constituted what a friend is, he remembered Donovan was dispatched and would report this incident just the way that Charlie would tell him. Roger would become the suspect, and Eunice was now dead, what she professed she yearned for anyway. Charlie was in the clear, not even here, out of town maybe. And so he was pounding her with his palms and his fists and all his might, as if he could insist his will upon her, much like she did earlier with the dough that she used for biscuits. And then she surrendered, and just a hint of satisfaction replaced Charlie's pinched rage. Just a hint.
Woo!